In this video, guys, we are taking a fully reverted plant, meaning that it's completely lost all variegations, and we're going to attempt to promote more variegations, and I'm going to show you how we'll be doing that today. Hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maria Young and I am so wild and crazy about plants. On my channel I share with you my love, my passion, my addiction, and my many wonderful planty adventures with them. If you guys like this type of planty content, make sure you guys give me a thumbs up, and also make sure you guys subscribe and click that bell notification button so you guys will know every time I do post a new video. Let's go ahead and jump into the planty content right now. So in a prior video, I did talk to you guys all about variegations and also why some plants will sometimes lose them. And in that video, I showed you an example where I had a fully reverted plant, and yes, indeed, we were able to promote more variegations on them. So today we're going to do the exact same thing, except we're taking two separate plants, and we're going to see just how many variegated new plants we can get from it. So let's go ahead and see, shall we? Why, yes, we shall. Okay, guys, and here we are with the reverted plants. Now, do you recognize this plant? And they are very, very huge. This is one of them. And then this is a nice size one as well, right here. And these are both reverted pink princesses that we're gonna go ahead and chop and prop in hopes of saving those variegations. So let's go ahead and get the process done now, and it's a simple process, guys. As you can see, all I did was take these out of the soil and we're ready to begin. And here we are, guys, and I'm just going to give you a brief rundown on some of the materials that we're going to be using today. And this is my handy dandy gloves. Anytime you guys are cutting up plants, you really want to protect your hands. Some plants actually have toxic fluids within them that can really cause some irritation to your hands. So definitely protect your hand. This right here, which is a cup of peroxide, and my knives, my cutting tools are soaking so that they are disinfected, and that just really helps to eliminate infections within the plant. My cinnamon powder, which helps to dry out the plants rather quickly. These containers right here, the spag and bag method, and just a sealed container. And these have been filled with moistened sphagnum moss, which is really good in creating humidity and also moisture for the plant, and great for promoting those propagations to grow. I also have this right here, which is a thin layer of plastic cutting board, and that's what we're going to be using to prop and chop our reverted plants. And here we go, guys. This is the very first one. This is a humunga dunga wunga of a plant. This actually stands at a good 3 feet tall, believe it or not, and it is just so beautiful. But guys, we got to do what we got to do. I definitely think it's going to be worth the cause. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be removing all of those beautiful leaves. And of course, you can keep them on. I just prefer to take them off, especially in the way that we're propagating, and we're going to be keeping them in those sealed containers. It's just going to make it easier for me to do that. But you can choose one way or the other, whether to keep the leaves on or take them off. I'm going to take them off, so let's start right now. No! Ah! No! Yeah, this is hurting me more than it's hurting you. But yep, take them off, just take them off. Don't even think about it. And the very top one, I'm gonna leave that on. And we're just gonna go ahead and take the top cutting and pot it right up. And look, guys, look at all of the leaves that we cut off. Again, it's for a good cause and hopefully well worth the effort. So now that we removed all of those beautiful leaves, we're gonna start at the bottom portion. That is a segment with the roots. And we're going to go ahead and chop right here, and we're just going to go ahead and pot that right back up. And let's go ahead and get this started. Bammo, and I think I'm going to use the bigger knife here. I think that's going to make it easier. But there you go, we've cut the bottom portion. Again, we're just going to go ahead and pot that up. Now the way that I'm gonna go ahead and cut this is we're gonna of course cut between the internodes, which means between nodes. I'm also going to try to keep at least 2 to 3 nodes on each one. This one right here has a node right there and also a node right here. So we're gonna cut right here, guys. And let's go ahead and cut it. Bammo, that's cut. And then we're gonna do the same exact thing to all of these. So all of these will have, again, about 2, maybe even 3 nodes. Give it a good chance in case one doesn't work, the other one will. And here we go. That easy, guys. We're just making those cuts. And because we're giving good amount of stem on each portion, this will have good energy to grow. There you go. There you go. There you go. And let's do this one. And of course, this again is the top cutting. We're just gonna pot this one up. And we have them all, guys. Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cuts, guys, 11. And taking a closer look, again, as I stated, I wanted a pretty nice size cutting, more energy and more nodes for the plant, just in case one doesn't work, the other one may. Now, of course, you can cut them down smaller if you want to. This is just the way that I do it. And if we take an even closer look, you will begin to see that this plant is secreting that raspberry colored fluid, and it is bleeding. It is an open wound, so that is why we're going to go ahead and put cinnamon so that it can better assist it to dry out a lot sooner. So let's go ahead and do that now. And this, guys, is our cap full of cinnamon. We're just going to take a pinch and then just rub it all over the wound. We're going to do it on both sides, and we are going to do it for all of the actual cutting. So let's go ahead and continue to do that. It'll be a quick and easy process. Ta-da, voila, so easy. Airplane, leaving on a jet plane. Wow, that did sound like a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. This is just gonna really help to dry this out rather quickly. It'll help in that drying process and prevent rotting to occur. And that is really, really important when it comes to propagating. And there we go, guys. We are completely done and completo. So now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next vine. And I'm going to do that off camera so as to not put you to sleep. Oh, and one more thing, guys. If you do notice a cutting that has dead roots, I would simply remove those roots because they are not functioning at all anyways. And they'll actually cause probability of soaking in water and causing some rotting issues to the cutting. So again, if they are dead roots, I'd go ahead and remove them. But if you do notice some live roots, I'd keep them on because they actually help the cutting bounce back a lot sooner. Also, guys, if you notice layer of skin or leaf sheaths is what I like to call them, if you notice them on the plant, go ahead and remove them because a lot of times they're hiding those nodes. And by removing them, it actually allows the nodes an easier way to grow. 5 of them, guys, had actual roots on each one. Good amount of roots too. So we're gonna go ahead and just let these cuts dry off, and then we're gonna actually just pot them into soil. So we'll see how that goes on these ones. Okay, so these cuttings right here are fully prepped. All there is now left to do is to allow these to dry. And you really wanna let these dry for at least a day to ensure that rotting issues won't happen while they are being propagated within their containers. Now, of course, you guys already know that when we talk about plants, it is never 100% guaranteed. A plant will absolutely absolutely do whatever it wants to do. But I can tell you, if you do have a plant that has reverted and you're not happy with it and you want some of that variegated happiness back into your life, this is definitely worth a try. Alrighty guys, here we are right back at it yet again. Now it is a different day, but we are still on the same mission to promote variegations on our reverted pink princess. So let's go ahead and proceed forth. And these are our cuttings right here that we took from the pink princesses, and we got a total of 22 cuttings, and that's excluding the top cutting portion, guys. So yay for us, we got 22 pieces and 22 chances, and even more than that, because again, these have actually 2 and 3 nodes on these cuttings. So yeah, we should have a lot of chances with these. So the very first one that we did, this is from the 3-foot long vine. And as you can see, we did get a lot of cuttings, a total of 13 all together, guys. Because I do have 2 more, this one and this one that has already been potted up. So 13 cuttings on these ones. And if we take a good look at the actual ends of these, you can see that they have dried out really well, and you can even see some shriveling on the edges at the very tip. That's how well they've dried out. So these are very good to go, guys. We can go ahead and put these into their sealed containers now, and we'll actually be separating them into their individual containers because I want to see how many on each of these vines take. I want to see if we can get good variegations on both vines. So this right here, guys, we have a total of 6 right here, and also 3 in this pot. And these are also all dried out, as you can see from the tips. All of them are that way. So these are also good to go. Now these have already been potted up, guys, because of the fact that these had extensive root systems on these and I didn't want to cut them off. So I went ahead and potted them up. I really think they're good to go. But what I do have to do is make sure that I water sparingly. I will not water as normal on these guys. I will only mist these down. Again, watering very sparingly because I don't want to run the risk of any rotting within these cuttings right here. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step. And just to go ahead and show you exactly what we're doing with the actual top cuttings, I do have them soaking within this wine glass right here, and I have a variety of different plants in here that's also soaking along with those 2 cuttings. Now these 2 cuttings actually had little roots that were beginning to grow. Do you see them? And because they have these little roots, I'm actually just going to let them soak within the water for about 3 days, and then I'm going to go ahead and pot them up. But of course, we're going to treat these exactly the same way that we did those potted cuttings that I showed you earlier on. Cheers! Alrighty folks, so this is the simplest process right here. All we're doing is taking these cuttings and we're going to place them within this Ziploc bag, of course, that has already been filled with sphagnum moss. And we're just going to situate them right there within the sphagnum. It doesn't really matter if they're covered all the way up or not, for the simple fact that we already know that within this bag is going to have humidity and moisture that is retained and throughout the entire bag. So this entire cutting will stay moist. And here we go. And there you have it, folks. And then we're going to go ahead and seal it. And then after that, keep them just like this within medium light condition. I definitely would not keep this in full light. Of course, we do not want to bake our cuttings. But if you keep them in medium light where they're receiving some light, but of course not receiving too much and not receiving no light at all, because we still want to give them energy to thrive. And we are doing the exact same thing with these ones right here. Just placing them within that moistened sphagnum moss, like so. There you go. And they're all placed. And we're gonna go ahead and seal this up tightly. And there you go. We're all done with this one as well. Now, if your containers are completely sealed off from receiving any air, you shouldn't have to remist these down, because these containers will actually act as a terrarium where the water is going to be recycled within the container. But of course, that is not always the case. If your container is not fully sealed, or if it has holes, it can allow some of the sphagnum moss to dry, and therefore you would just go ahead and mist it down and, you know, check from time to time to make sure that it is still moist. The main thing that we're going to have to really be concerned about is rotting issues. So again, monitor your cuttings and ensure that nothing is going on. And if you do see some rotting issues or some fungus that is growing in there, make sure you go ahead and remove that cutting and try to save it before trying to put it back within the container, because you don't want the entire container and the cuttings to be contaminated. Ah, someone's calling. Of course, when I'm filming. This is my mother dear. Okay, back to the grind. And there you have it, folks. That is our attempt to save our non-variegated reverted pink princesses via the propagation method, of course, in hopes of promoting more of those beautiful variegated leaves. Now, you guys are going to have to let me know, do you think this will work? And of course, if you've done this method or even another method and it was successful, make sure you guys let us know that as well. I definitely would love to hear your experiences and your stories. I thank you guys so much for tuning into yet another episode of my tropical plant adventures. As you guys already know, I truly do love and appreciate each and every one of you guys all, and I will see you guys later on my next adventures. See you guys later. Bye bye. Peace.